Good afternoon, everyone. Here we are again. We are over lunchtime today talking to two lovely ladies from For Good, one of our new campaigns with 50 Plus. And maybe let's start, Mashadi or Tatu, whoever wants to kind of share with us a little bit of the history or the background of For Good.
Yes,
Um, and then we can get going and you can share what it is that you do and how we can engage more closely with you over the next few months.
great. Thank you so much, Linda. I'm Mashadi. I Letwaba from Forgood. I've been with Forgood for around 8 years now, and I head up business development at Forgood. So that involves the public platform, but also our corporate clients whom we work with, about 20 of them across Africa. Forgood is Africa's largest volunteering platform. And we say Africa because we are in South Africa as well as 9 other African states, including Namibia, Zimbabwe, Malawi, and with the premise of really connecting individuals across these different countries, connecting volunteers and resources to organizations that actually need their help. For Good itself has been around for around 13 years. So you could say it's young, but it's old as well. And it was started up. Our founder and majority shareholder is Garth Jaffet. He is a philanthropist in this space. Back in the day, he started an institution called Soul City during the big rough of AIDS pandemic in the 60s. He started Soul City Institute, and he also does a lot of value-based movies and series to really inspire South Africans. He was involved in like Soul Buddies that used to play on SABC One, and recently he's done series like Nothing for Mahala, Beyond the River, just to name some of those. But back when For Good started 13 years ago, when he did those value based series and movies, a lot of South Africans were inspired. It was that, okay, we inspired to do better. We inspired by the mantra of Ubuntu and helping each other. But now where do we go? We stuck. How do I even begin to help? So that's where the idea started for him, but it was also with his own volunteering journey. So he has, his kids are much older now, but when they were still young, he was clearing out their closets and wanted to donate their clothes. So he filled up their clothes in black plastic bags and headed off to the nearest organization he knew, which was Kids Haven in town. When he got there, they actually directed him to like a huge warehouse at the back, which was obviously, it was full of plastic bags of clothes. So he was stunned and he asked, like, so why are you accepting my donation? You already have so many clothes that you don't know what to do with. Why did you accept me coming to bring these clothes? Why didn't you just reject it? And the organization, the lady who headed it up then said, because of the hope that you would come back someday and actually help us with what we really need, which is how assisting with organizational structure at the time and how we can improve our operations. So we don't want to turn away volunteers because of fear that they won't come back and help us with the need that we actually had. And that was really where For Good solidified in our founder's minds that it was something that was necessary for him to build. And that was the birth of it. So I'm going to share my screen just so that I can share the platform. It's going to pop up soon. But For Good is a marketplace for giving. We like to call it, it's the matchmaking of matchmaking individuals who have and the organizations who need the help. Because on this platform, you can browse thousands, and I mean thousands of opportunities, whether you want to volunteer your time or skills, or you want to donate goods, or you'd like to donate money to organizations across Africa. Right now, I'm on the South African side. So I'll show you a little bit on how our platform works before we delve into the specific 50 plus campaign. Please feel free to stop me at any given time. I'm happy to answer any questions you have in between my presentation here. So this is our front page, and you can see so far since 2012, For Good has helped causes in over 95,000 ways. So these are all the connections we have actually made on the system by connecting volunteers to organizations. And on the platform, on the front page, you can see recommended opportunities. So these will be specific to you. So once you log into your Fugud profile and you start using it a little bit more, it will start suggesting opportunities that align to your interests. So these are the ones that are recommended for me right on the homepage. You'll be able to see what's new. So, what are some of the new opportunities that have been loaded and the new organizations that have come on board? You'll see some research and insights. So, these are articles that have been written either by our corporate clients like African Bank or some of our volunteers that have actually used the website. Then you'll see some pictures that have been loaded by organizations and volunteers, projects that are almost funded, as well as stories of impact as well. So that's what's on the homepage. We have three main journeys on how you can give. The first one, which is really the most popular, I think 90% of the giving that happens across all of our platforms is volunteering time and skills, which is powerful because it's the most expensive commodity if you think about it. So on when I click on volunteer, I can then browse opportunities in person, or some of the opportunities I can actually do virtually or remote. So, meaning I don't physically have to go to an organization to help. But in person, I can search according to my location. So, for instance, I could say Sandton if I'm based in Sandton, and then I can select the kilometer radius. So, how far away from the city of Sandton would I like to go? And I can say 10 kilometers because I don't want to travel too far. And then I can drill down to the category. So, what kind of category am I passionate about? It could be the environment, children and youth, general skills, or business related skills. All right. So, if I'm passionate about children and youth, I can click on that. And then it will show me a whole lot of opportunities on how I can assist in this category. For instance, there's a lot of mentoring for young students over here, and the career guidance that we have, and then we've got 20 volunteers needed to be coaches to youth, into this organization, which is Vogas Koko. And then we've got, intermediate, like they need volunteers who are going to assist with intermediate phase and high school kids. So now there's always new opportunities on here. I mean, just to give you a stat, we get about 80 to 100 new needs that are loaded each week by our organizations. And our organizations, I know we had a question about this. I think it was from Alice about how do we get them on. So any organization across the African states that we are in can register on the website free of charge. So there's no cost to it. They just need, in South Africa specifically, they need to have an NPO certificate that shows that they're older than a year. And then they need to have a tax clearance certificate as well, which needs to be up to date. And then a triple B certificate is optional to add on. And then they can also optionally add in like stuff like audited financials. But the NPO certificate and the tax clearance certificate are requirements to be loaded onto the website. And this is also because we work with 20 multinational companies like Vodacom, Makuru, African Bank, just to name a few. And the same organization that has registered here and appears here will also appear on their website. So they do a lot of vetting for their CSI and SED, hence why the documents are important to be in place. Great. Because I'm sharing, I won't be able to see if there's any hands up. So if you don't mind just letting me know, Linda, if anyone raises their hand so I can stop. Then we've got virtual and remote. So on here as well, different kinds of opportunities. I mean, here there is, let me just read a few. 5 volunteers to assist with a PowerPoint design, volunteers who can assist with what do I see here? Elderly children and youth, 50 volunteers for creating, activity pages for children in preschool, assisting with website and email addresses, someone who can assist with mentoring to support the NGO, making Play-Doh for school children at an ECD center, sewing bean bags for preschool program. So different kinds of initiatives that can be done from the comfort of your own home that you can search for here. Similarly, with the in person ones, I mean, some are span from passion based, like baking and cooking, to very skilled based, like helping an organization with their finance or HR kind of principles, or even signing up to be a board member. So, those are some of the opportunities you can actually find here on the platform. Then, our second journey is to donate goods. So donate goods will also work in a similar manner in that you can search according to your area. Let's see if there's anything in Villa Villa. So we've got two opportunities. So I would love if you could share some of the organizations you work with in Billa Billa, because I did I know you mentioned there are a few, so that we can load them on our system. Sometimes we do find that organizations that are not in the metropolitans don't register so much on our platform. Hence why we only have two right now when I search in Billa Billa. But nonetheless, these are the ones that we have where you can donate goods. So you can search according to that location. And over here, Food for Rhinos, for instance, needs individuals who can donate solar cameras, as an example, obviously for surveillance at their park. You can also search according to something specific you want to donate. So, for instance, stationery, you can search for that, and then it will give you a list of all of the organizations that are looking for stationery. It could be anything. So it could also be clothing if you're clearing out your closets, and then it will list all of the organizations that are also looking for those donations. And once you find one that resonates with you or is close to where you stay, you can then connect with them directly. So once I click on any opportunity, it opens up a page where I can read more information about it. So, Ernest Foundation needs mixed clothes to support those in need. So, they've provided a little bit more information on how you can donate. And I can also then donate by clicking on the button. Because I'm logged in, it will pre populate my information. And then I can stipulate I would like to donate a jacket and a couple of dresses, and once I've done that, I can then simply click on that donate button, but I'm not going to do that now. And it will send an email to the organization. Once they get that email, then they can respond back to me and tell me, oh, please, can you drop it off? Or can we pick it up where you stay or where you work? And then that can be organized directly with the organization. So now, if you also wanted to read a little bit more about the organization before you connect with them, either by volunteering your time or donating goods, you can click on View Course Profile. So now here I can read more about the Ernest Foundation. I can see some of the other opportunities they have. So I can see they also need a fridge and they also need a secondhand generator. So I can read more on that. I can see where they are based. I can see their website, social media buttons, and then I can also see their average rating. So this shows the average rating is it works a little bit like, I don't know if you know if you use like Uber, where there's a dual rating system. So the organization can rate the volunteer, and the volunteer can also rate the organization. So this rating that you see here is from what volunteers have rated the Ernest Foundation. So far, volunteers are having a great experience with Ernest Foundation. So it kind of gives you that courage that you can go ahead and work with them. Then our third journey is to donate money. So organizations that we have on our system will load the projects that they are currently working on, and then you can choose to support those projects. So, for instance, Greendale House Palliative and Hospice Care, Hospice for Vits, they're raising 100,000 Rand for running the comrades to actually support the hospice. So they need individuals to donate towards this cause. So if this is something you're passionate about, and it's close to your heart and you'd like to support the hospice, you can see if it qualifies for an 18A certificate. If it's that's something that's important to you, that will be stipulated under the donate button, and then you can also see how much is raised so far. So 4.4 has already been raised. You can click on donate, and anything from 50 Rand upwards, and then you can leave a message to the organization as well, and then you click on donate. This will then direct you to a pay fast account, because we don't hold any of the money. that's being donated to the organization. So once you actually write it down and you want to donate, it will go directly to the organization. You can choose from the different options: instant, snap scan, um, credit card, etc. And then you can donate directly to that organization.
Mashadi, can you
Yes.
accept payments from people overseas?
We are actually, that's what the developers are working on now, because we would
Okay.
like to do a multi, right? PayFast doesn't accept donations from overseas yet, but we
Okay.
are looking at different payment options. But in the next month or two, I think we'll have that up and running so that you can donate really across Africa to any of the organizations that we have on the system, and not just South Africa, because currently it's only open to South Africa.
Yeah, I also have friends overseas who, they've got some money and they think, oh, I'd like to donate to one of these causes. And I know some of them have had
Exactly.
trouble. They say they're not able to. So if
Yeah.
you could get it that someone sitting in Australia could donate via your platform, that would be wonderful.
No, definitely. Once we have that update, I'll be sure I'll be the first person I email.
Then I'll email my friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. And then I have one more journey to show you, which is creating an offer. This is now our founder's, Garth Jaffet's, favorite journey on the system. It works in reverse. So what I've shown you now is everything that organizations have loaded on our system and how you can then connect with them. But with an offer, you can now send out a bulk email, basically. So you could say what your offer is. It could either be your time, your skill, or you could be donating certain goods. So if I want to donate my time, for instance, I can say volunteer. Perhaps it's business related skills, and specifically, I don't know, entrepreneurship and business training, right? So then my offer title could be, I would like to coach NGO on how to be sustainable, as an example. And then I can put in more information about my offer. I'm not gonna type anything yet because this is a test, but these are the skills that I have. I've been running a business for 15 years. I'd like to impart these skills onto an organization and how they can be sustainable. And then you can select the duration. So maybe it's more than 8 hours because you would like to do it every Saturday. You can upload a photo if you have one, it's optional. And then when does your offer expire as well? Then you can put in your address, so where you are based or where you would like the organization to be, and then select the distance, maybe 10 kilometers away. That will then give you all of that, all of the organizations within your area, and then you can select a couple. So now it's showing me when I select babies, children, and youth, there's 9 organizations. Community development, there's 10 organizations in that category. That means I'm basically going to be sending an email out to 19 organizations. Does my offer have any conditions? I'm only available on Saturday from 1 to 3, as an example. Then once you click on next, and then you fill in your details, that then comes to our back end administrator, and if the offer is fine and there's nothing wrong with it, we approve it, and then that sends out a bulk email to the organizations you've selected, so the 19, and then they can respond back to you directly if they're interested in your offer. So those are the main
Okay.
journeys.
So sorry,
Yeah.
Mashadi.
No, please go
Just,
ahead.
just a question on that. Do you check the people who are offering their services?
Yes, we do.
You do some sort of do you do it against the what is
A LinkedIn profile,
the
maybe?
register? The
No, we
register.
don't go in depth, but we do look at what it is that they're offering.
Okay.
So we just make sure that it's not anything obviously that's dangerous or could pose a risk
Mm,
to the organization or the children. But we also do make causes aware that individuals will be creating specific offers. Some of them might be a fit for you, might not be. So they also need to
okay.
use their discretion. For instance, an organization working with children and youth
Mm,
won't necessarily allow a huge group of people to come into their premises, as an example, because they need to
yeah.
protect their beneficiaries, right?
Mm,
So they would then not accept that offer. But another organization which is run by 2 or 3 people might be okay with having a couple of people come into their premises and help them with skills and so
Mm,
forth. Same goes
mm,
with donations. We give the volunteers specific tips, like obviously don't donate anything old or that looks
mm,
like
mm,
this or ragged, or it should be something that you would also use, but you
yeah.
just no longer, and then you can donate those goods to the cause directly.
Okay. Thank you. Mm.
But yeah, if it's like, I mean, if we see someone like, I don't know, we haven't had any like strange offers. That's the thing. But someone, oh, the ones that we have had, maybe it's someone offering. It's almost like they selling something, which is
Okay.
not the
Yes.
premise
Yeah.
of the platform. So it can't be used for like obviously getting clients and expecting the organizations to pay you for your service. Those
Mm,
ones we would then decline it and then send an email to the volunteer just to explain how the platform works.
mm. Okay. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Mashadi, Mashadi,
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Um, so I saw the two that you've picked up in Bella Bella, but I have listed five NGOs, NPOs. Um, so the question is, do I need to speak to either the execs or the board members before we can put it on as causes that people can get involved in? For example, adventures with elephants.
Yes.
Uh, Locally, there's a big drive uh, for financial support, but also in terms of feed. I met some wonderful youngsters from the Wits University that are doing research with the elephants, and it's all about conservation. So, Adventures with
Mm,
Elephants and the Cheetah Experience, both those organizations are forever looking for volunteers and ways of support in our local area. So, how do I get them onto the platform? That's the
okay.
question.
So I'll just show you. We can also send you this link. But they simply, I mean, if they keen and they learn a little bit more about for good and they're interested to come on, they can click on sign up, which is right at the
Okay.
top right corner. They're not signing up as a volunteer or donor. Instead, they're signing up as a cause.
Good.
NGO. Then they click on sign up there. Then there's all of the information in terms of how they need to sign up, a little bit more information. If they've got questions, who they can email, and then the required documents. And then from there, when they click on sign up, they then fill in a little bit more information about their organization. So they need to then go through this entire form, the name of the organization, the category they're in, address, and so forth, and then load their
Mm.
documents. Once they have
Okay.
completed that process, it will sit in our backend system, and then we have a course manager, Zamo. She will then email the organization to let them know if it's been approved or not. And the reason why it might not be approved is because we didn't receive any the documents that we need and so forth. But then she will liaise with the organization directly just to let
Mm.
them know that. But I would definitely love if we could have them on.
Mm.
Because I mean, there's a benefit with also some of our clients that work in those areas and would like to do projects with organizations there. But often it is a matter of supply and demand because there's not, we have more organizations in the metropolitans that we can work with, and
Mm.
not necessarily in the rural.
Yeah, because the other two places, thanks for that. I'll have conversations with the people on that. Is we have two homes. The one is for abandoned and vulnerable children, and the other one is for severely disabled children. So there's always a need for some form of support.
Yeah.
And then the last one is the Waterberg Development Initiative that has three legs to it: tourism, conservation, and community. And I was just looking at the doc that was sent to me. So they were saying we need promotional capital to add
Mm,
additional capacity in terms of human resources, selective project funding, and vehicle
sure.
support, for example.
Yeah.
Mm,
Oh my, okay. No, that will be so great to have them there because then they've got more people that can
mm,
help. And really, I think once we can also set up our money donations across borders, even funneling donations to them as well will be easier. That's great. Thank you so much for sharing that.
thank you.
And I'm looking forward to having them on the website. And then we've got campaigns, and then I mean, Tata will take you through the campaign we've created specifically for your group, as well as then events. These events are loaded by our organizations. So if you find one, some are online, as you can see, but some are in specific areas. So you could also physically attend an event in your area and sign up to that, or take part in one of the organizational events that they've put up here. So I think even one of the organizations, if they have events that are running either to raise awareness about conservation of the animals, they could actually load them on our system once they onboarded for volunteers to attend. And then I'm just going to sign in. Oh, I've signed out now. I don't remember my credentials. But just here on the dash on the homepage, you can also volunteer to any one of the other African countries as well. You can volunteer virtually in the same way that you would in South Africa. So it's just a matter of navigating to that country, clicking on virtual and remote, and then you can also find different ways to help organizations in the different countries that we have. Okay, great. So I'm going to hand over to Tato to talk through the campaign as well as how to rate once you've completed your activity. But
Thanks
any
so much.
questions in the meantime?
I wanted to say I have was very involved in the early days of For Good, and I just want to say
Really?
congratulations to your team on the amazing amount of depth that you have created. And it's a fabulous site, and we certainly will do our best to help to promote. I think it really is an amazing opportunity for so many.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm glad.
So, a quick question.
Mhm.
Existing NGOs that have been around for quite a while, I mean, I think it would benefit them to be on this platform. Or is this just really for NGOs that are in real need of resources or time?
No, it's
It's for
for
everyone.
it's for everyone. It's open to any organization. We mainly say it is helpful if the organization needs volunteers,
Right.
because it's mainly a volunteering platform. So
Mm,
money and donating goods almost come secondary. The most of the actions that we get or the activity that we
mm.
see is from volunteering time. But yeah,
Okay.
but they can definitely come on. I mean, some organizations, I know like sometimes it can be, for some organizations it can be strenuous to have volunteers sometimes, especially in person, because then they have to train them and it
Mm,
can take time, but they put
mm.
on the virtual ones on. So even if they want to grow like their social media following as an example, they'll put up a need for that.
Okay.
Some that take 5 to 10 minutes, like follow us on Facebook, sign up to a My School card, sign us up to your My School card so that when you swipe at Woolworths, we get points. So things like that
Mm.
are also uploaded as needs that some of the organizations
Okay.
have on our site.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Interesting. Thank you. Mm.
All right. Can you please confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes,
We
yes, we
can,
can.
Tato, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so because Mashadi has already taken us through all the journeys, I'm just going to jump straight into the campaign. So anytime you are going to go log on, you're going to go straight to campaigns. And then the campaign we are doing with 50 Plus is this one, with our unique logo. We're going to click on it. So we've timed this campaign to end on the 1st of December, but this doesn't necessarily mean that beyond the 1st of December, then we aren't volunteering anymore, right? So we can continue to use the platform even beyond this. It's just that campaigns are just targeted towards a specific audience for a specific time period. Right. And so this is the campaign write-up that we've come up with. Really, the thinking behind it was that now that you're 50, you're looking at retirement. What is it that you want to do? How do you want to fill up your time? And just really, how do you want to keep useful? Because a lot of the time, some of this experience that people who are nearing the end of their professional careers, they have like very valuable skills that these organizations could really use. And so that's really what this campaign is about. And so you can read through the campaign. These are some of the areas in which you can volunteer in youth mentorship, business development, like small businesses, elderly care and companionship, literacy, learning support for children, animal welfare, as we've been speaking about right now. And it doesn't matter where you are really in South Africa, whether in Cape Town, Gauteng, Mpumalanga, Limpopo, anywhere you are able to get involved. Okay, so some of the opportunities that I have lined up here, I put in a few opportunities just so that as you're going through the campaign, you have a look and feel about some of the things that you can get involved in. And I've spread them out throughout the country. We've got an opportunity for drafting health and safety policies in Joburg, for example, while we have another opportunity online to help a cause to raise funds for their projects and operations. We have an opportunity here to work with animals, right? We have opportunities to cover library books. So I've put in a range of opportunities from like highly skilled to basic sewing, teaching, spending time with animals, spending time with babies, just so that everybody who's a part of this campaign can be able to see that there is a lot of variety and diversity in terms of what our platform has to offer. And so I think I've put in about 20 of them, but now that we've gone through the platform at large, you are able, if you don't find any joy here, you're able to go back then to volunteer, search, and find what it is that will be helpful and useful for you. And so, yeah, that is essentially what the campaign is all about. But we would really like it for our partners here at 50 Plus to be able to engage with the needs that we have already put up here under the campaign. And what we will try to do is, every month or two, come back and update these needs with whatever it is that is updated, the latest needs, just to update them and refresh the campaign. So that we don't keep looking at the same kind of needs. So yeah, that's basically what's happening here. Do we have any questions? I can't see hands, so feel free to just jump in.
Maybe take the presentation down and we can go back to gallery mode.
Okay.
Right, let me get everybody in gallery mode. Right, wonderful. Thank you so much, Tato. Any questions from anyone? That was a fabulous presentation, by the way. Thank you, both of you.
I just think it's fabulous, sure. I mean, I think there's so many people who haven't done any volunteering, coming to the end of their corporate life or whatever, and this is just going to help them take the first step and do it in a safe way. So these are organizations that have been vetted, can do it in your area and spread it around the country. No, well done. Sure. Yeah. Well done.
Yeah, Mashadi, that was great. Where are you based?
We're based in Johannesburg, Rosebank area.
So just saying, Jane, maybe we invite Mashadi for coffee at our next gathering, and we set a challenge for the Joburg group to say,
go and have coffee in Dunkeld. If you're still in the same places, Dunkeld would be the place to go.
Yeah.
The next meeting there at Furnos.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss those
great idea,
gatherings.
And I think it's, you know what, we're so strange as human beings. We look at what's in front of us, but we very seldom discover and go deep. And that's why I wanted to do this presentation, and hopefully many of the other members will look. Because from two ways. One, we have a lot of people who have brilliant skills, and this is a great way for them to start volunteering or to volunteer. But also for people who have moved into an area like Renelle, into the Waterberg from Johannesburg. Your platform creates the opportunity for the organization she's working with to have a much wider range of volunteering than just in the Waterberg, because we become those of us who have a deep heart for people is you get tired if you're doing too much all the time because there's too few people. Whereas this way offers someone who loves elephants or wildlife to somehow or other get involved in something in the Waterberg because Renelle put up those opportunities. So I think from a 50+ perspective, we're semigrating all over the country as we move into this next phase of life. It offers that opportunity. And also as we're starting small communities, this is the way for us to help to load those smaller opportunities here and then allow our members to volunteer that way. What do you think, Jane?
Absolutely. And I think especially the semigrating, because at our last Gauteng gathering, people were asking, how do you make friends when you've moved at 50+ into a new area? How do you make friends? And one of the things we said was through volunteering. So we had recommended your site. But I mean, I'm just thinking of, people who might go back to Jericho because they're going to retire there, but they've had a career where they've done admin work and whatever, and they arrive in Jericho and they think, what on earth am I going to do now? And here's an opportunity that they can then sign up to this platform and offer their skills remotely. It's got huge potential, I think. And nice to have this campaign that says, okay, 50+, here's what you can do. Yeah.
From both sides.
Yeah, from both sides.
Yeah. Then what about you?
Because I'm also thinking,
sorry, Renelle, go for it.
Sorry, Linda. Yeah, I was thinking, so I've now listed the 5 that I would love to get onto your platform, but also from a 50+ skills in sharing it in our community to say that here's a campaign specifically for 50+. And if they don't want to be involved in any of the other 5, they can become involved in the 50+ ones. Because I had a call. Sorry, I had a call early this morning. I met this gentleman at one of our chamber meetings, business chamber meetings, and he was just saying, "Don't forget about me. I'm still gonna be in touch to help us." And I know nothing about lotto applications, but he just wants to sit with me to go through the documentation. So we'll learn together. So yeah, there's need. So I can refer him as well, So yeah,
there are many NGOs that fill loads and loads of lotto, and I mean it's hugely onerous. But if you just put that up as a need, I'm sure you would get a lot of volunteers rather than the 2 of you trying to figure it out yourselves.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to do that. I was saying to him, we'll get experts to help us with that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Renelle. Len, any comment?
I just think it's a very creative way of actually getting people involved. I like the 50+ campaign. I think whoever thought about that was ingenious. And yeah, it's very interesting. And I'm looking forward to explore it a bit more and see where I can maybe get involved in the future as well. So yeah, I think Linda, once again, thanks for organizing this, and to the For Good team, lovely meeting you virtually.
Thanks, Len. A question quickly for you at For Good. One of the things, and I'm sure that the work that you're doing has definitely improved the situation. As much as I try and help individuals through our training and workshops and articles to say, if you're volunteering, try and volunteer in your area of skill and your area of passion, because that gives a brilliant resource to an organization who couldn't afford that resource. And it will be sustainable for you because of a deep heartbeat, rather than just going and knocking on the door of an organization in your town and saying, what do you need? So I think for me, I'm trying to train people to think carefully about where they go, but at the same time, NPOs need to be equipped to also work well in understanding that resource. And many of them just want volunteers for the sake of volunteers, rather than understanding that this is a great resource if both sides manage it effectively. And I think your platform has created that, because it's very clear. And those MPOs that are there have been asked for specific skills. So do you have any articles like that that kind of help the NPOs or the volunteers to make sure that they are volunteer ready?
I think we do. So I'll just check through our resource hub and ask the course manager, because she actually does course master classes. And for all of the courses that we have on our system, she sets up like virtual meetings with them every month. So that will be great as well, Ronelle, for the new organizations we get on. She does master classes with them, training them on the platform, training them on how to load needs, the needs that are most likely to be responded to, how to make it clear. But the master classes are also for other individuals in the space to come and share their insights with the organizations, whether it's about sustainability or it's about new policies that the government has instilled, or even how to write a fundraising proposal. They're really there for upskilling the organizations. But I'll look out if there's articles on it. I'll just check with her, and then I'll send those through.
Right. And then just the last question from an African perspective, how are you growing that base? Or is it through the companies you're working with and where they're needing resources in other countries? How are you growing that?
So right now it's been with the clients we have. So currently it's Mukuru and Sanlam, who have offices in the African countries we in, and then they decide that we want our employees in those offices to also be engaged. But then we go out and look for the organizations ourselves, which is also like a huge change management and helping them understand the benefit of it and how it works as well.
Okay.
So
I belong to a SADC region aging network with across Africa, but mostly Botswana, Zimbabwe, Nigeria.
yes.
It's not just SADC. Many of them are either academics and run MPOs. Would that be something of interest to you?
Oh, 100%. It really, that's gold to us. Because we've currently been working with like recruiters, and like partners that we have, but it's been hard. I won't lie. It's been really hard. And really convincing and helping the organizations understand that, the benefit around it. And then tech for volunteering. It's also not, it's new. For the organizations there. So it has been hard identifying them. So that would be very valuable to us.
Fabulous. Yeah, it's not easy to break into a new territory like this. No. But I think it's valuable that a platform like yours should not be kept just for South Africa. We should help to create the value further afield.
No, 100%. Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? No? Thank you. This has
just a wonderful conversation. Thank you for organizing.
Yeah, pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you to both of you. And Please to Romy and to Garth and the whole team. Thank you. Thank you. We will be definitely growing and aligning and walking together for much longer than December.
Oh, fantastic.
Enjoy your afternoon, everyone.
Thank
Ta-ta.
you.